Hello everybody, I am Dr. Adriana Cuestas and I am the Infant and Early Childhood Clinical Director at Allies for Every Child.
My name is Laura Brathwaite and I am the Assistant Director of Early Childhood Clinical Services at Allies for Every Child in Los Angeles, California. We will take the next few minutes to share with you about the ways in which we have leveraged reflective opportunities to support staff capacity and enhance our mental health consultation work. Take a listen to a few staff as they share about their experience with these services.
Erica had considered me to try the services for my classroom. I thought it was a great opportunity, but then within myself, being 40 years old, I just felt like, oh no, I've been in the field for 40 years. I don't, need any help and I'm fine, but that's not necessarily true. When I first came to the services, I was myself an emotional wreck. Personally, I was really overwhelmed. I had a lot of changes in my classroom, and then also children. It's a large classroom. It haven't been this large like this for almost 2 years. So it was really, really frustrating. It was really busy, and it was really stressful in the classroom. The MDT team once a month really gave me that support that I needed for myself as well as my classroom, taking my classroom to where that classroom needs to be.
A reflective practice really helps them with thinking about and slowing down as opposed to being like in such a fast-paced environment.
Everybody kind of like threw out strategies and we tried them and there was significant progress. I mean, the child became a little bit more verbal. Some of the concerning behaviors, aggressive behaviors calmed down significantly.
We're giving that undivided attention to that classroom or that family or that child, whatever we're really kind of focusing on for that MDT. So and to let that teacher know we're there for you to make sure that you have whatever you really need to be successful in this classroom.
Estos servicios le dan a uno ayuda, también se interesan no solo en el niño, sino en la maestra, preguntándole cómo está, cómo se siente, qué cree que podemos hacer para ayudarle. Entonces también uno se siente como que también les importa tanto el niño como el maestro.
We are a nonprofit family service organization serving high-needs families in an urban area. We offer a variety of services to families, as you can see listed here, but our primary focus is on serving families with children 0 to 5 through our comprehensive early education services. Using consultants employed by our agency, we provide classroom-focused as well as child-focused consultation to our center-based educators, our family childcare providers, and our home-based educators. Our positioning as consultants are internal to our organization has offered us significant opportunities to increase staff capacity as it relates to mental health. Our positioning gives us access to a variety of contexts in which we can engage administrators and staff, as well as opportunities to develop long-term relationships with staff through these contexts. Consultants and mental health staff are involved in staff training, leadership team meetings, and response to critical incidents at our education sites. This involvement has allowed us to support staff at all levels of the agency to consider the mental health implications related to significant events, the development of policies, and program decisions. In addition, we offer reflective practice sessions to our home-based educators as well as to the staff that support our family childcare providers. We also facilitate multidisciplinary team meetings and support staff capacity to consider the multiple meanings of a child's behavior and to consider those behaviors from multiple different perspectives. These encounters with staff have opened doors to support them to reflect on their internal world as it relates to their interactions with young children, as well as to consider the impact of things like implicit bias, power differentials, and the influence of culture on behavior and parenting practices. With these opportunities come some limitations as well. We're aware that because we as consultants are employed by the same agency that employs the teachers and educators, that there may be some barriers for staff in terms of opening up and being vulnerable about what goes on in their classrooms and in their interactions. Given that our consultants are master's level clinicians, we're also aware that this places them at a different position in the hierarchy organizationally with relation to their consultees. And we know that this has the potential to impact the development of that relationship. However, utilizing the consultative stance, we do our best to avoid the position of the expert and really allow the consultee to lead the process of their consultation as well as their engagement in services as a whole. Despite these limitations, we have found that we've been able to utilize reflective opportunities to enhance our work with staff and increase access to supports for both children and families. Adriana will now walk us through what these opportunities to reflect look like in more detail, and she'll share with you as well about how these reflective opportunities have enhanced the work we do with children and families.
Thank you, Laura. As I was thinking about how to define reflective practice for you today, which I have to say in many ways it parallels with the consultative stance that our dear Khadija Johnston has taught us about and talked about through the years. My favorite children's book came to mind and I want to share it with you today. So here it goes. It's Useful to Have a Dog by Isol. I found a dog and I picked him up. Now I ride him like a rocking horse. I use him for a hat. He can be a whistle or a straw. I use him for a nose and to dry off. Then I leave him in the tub. And when the water is gone, I use him for a plug. It is useful to have a boy by Isol. I found a boy and he picked me up. Now he rubs my back. I use his head to see the view. And he gives me kisses. I pretend to be a gargoyle. I wax my bill. Then I swim a while until I find my little sleeping hole. I love the way in which this book so masterfully illustrates the fact that there are as many perspectives of an experience as there are participants in it. So reflective practice strengthens that muscle of perspective taking, which is so important for our healthy relationships, professionally and personally, and also for our growth as human beings. So following the perspective taking inspiration, I've decided to define reflective practice from two different perspectives: the perspective of the facilitator and also the perspective of the participant. So from the facilitator's perspective, reflective practice is an active and intentional use of tools, time, and genuine curiosity, using the relationship as a vehicle to support the participants' growth, self-awareness, regulation, and perspective-taking abilities. Now, from the participant's perspective, reflective practice is the act of engaging in a process of exploration about situations and their complexity, feelings, perspectives, and thoughts that allows for a deeper understanding about themselves and others, along with the growing possibility of choosing how to respond with increasing intentionality and assertiveness. Now, entertaining the idea that this boy has come to me for reflective practice and I'm his reflective practitioner, some of the things that I would support through reflective practice are, I would support the boy's capacity to recognize the different experience of the dog while keeping it in mind to understand their behaviors and tailor relevant interventions and strategies that make sense for the dog. I would also support the boy's ability to increase his self-awareness about how it feels to be in relationship with this dog and also with the dog's environment and context, while considering the boy's experience and history and exploring his implicit bias. I would support the boy to explore issues related to power, race, privilege, and equity that impact them both, and the boy's relationship with others, including the dog. I would also support the boy's awareness of his cultural self and what he brings into the interaction. So that's some of the things that we would do during reflective practice. At Allies for Every Child, we provide what we call formal reflective spaces, which are sessions that are scheduled, are regular, consistent, timed with our educators and other staff. Our early childhood mental health consultation meetings with the teachers are also delivered in a very intentionally reflective way. Adapting the concept of dosing that Dr. Bruce Perry talks about in the context of stress and therapeutic interventions, we have found that dosing reflective moments into already existing opportunities for interaction with staff has dramatically increased the impact of early childhood mental health consultation work. It enhances relationships. It provides alternative possibilities of perspective taking with different members of the team. It provides opportunities for knowledge consolidation, and it also provides opportunities to slow down and be intentional. We call these opportunities informal reflective practice spaces, and they include administrative and leadership meetings. They include multidisciplinary team meetings that Laura already talked a little bit about. It includes referrals and referrals consultations, and it includes trainings. And in the trainings, I want to highlight a training that has been meaningful for us as we do the training on implicit bias, and we found that it has opened windows for vulnerable conversations about race and equity, and also about concrete ways to decrease and reduce the implicit bias in the work that we do with children and families. Now, even though there's a need for more research about the impact of reflective practice work and the effectiveness of reflective practice, the existing research points to improvements in professional wellness, personal growth, improvements in family engagement skills, improvements in program quality, and also it strengthens skills in general. And finally, what we've seen through leveraging reflective opportunities, we've seen increase in referrals for mental health support. We've seen increase in diversity of staff who is generating these referrals. We're seeing staff becoming more competent and confident in having these conversations about mental health. So they're becoming ambassadors of mental health with other educators and families in general. And we're seeing increased organizational awareness about the needs for mental health supports.
For me, being kind of overseeing all of the educators and getting kind of to see how it impacts teachers and home educators and even our child development specialists and our providers, is their comfort level with dealing with behaviors and mental illnesses and really kind of the impact that it can have on themselves and the setting of a classroom, and then realizing it's okay to ask for help and knowing that they don't have to do it alone, and feeling comfortable with that. People really begin to feel comfortable with it. And I think when teachers see that all of us are vulnerable in those conversations and it's not just them that has to be vulnerable, it really helps them also feel way more comfortable with the consultation process.
Allowing us to have that space of, like, during the MDT to, kind of throw things out there and new ideas and different perspectives is what allowed us to kind of come up with this plan for the child.
It's intrinsically a part of their questioning now. Like, it's not a matter of like, oh, this is a bad, X or a challenging Y. It's like, well, what's going on here? It's a part of their teaching and a part of their practice.
So this concludes our storytelling space today. We want to invite you to contact us if you're interested in learning more about our journey or have any questions about anything we've said today.
You'll see that we've included our email addresses here on the screen. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us if you have questions or if you'd like to connect. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for listening.